He made me quit my job. Then he left me with nothing. I always believed love was about sacrifice. I just never expected to be the only one doing the sacrificing. When I met Chris, I was a senior marketing manager at a thriving startup. My career was on the rise. My salary was substantial, and my future was bright. But Chris, with his charming smile and smooth-talking ways, made me feel like my ambitions were insignificant. "Why do you need to work so hard?" he'd say, slipping his arms around me while I typed away on my laptop late at night. "I make more than enough for both of us. Why don't you relax? Be with me." I brushed it off at first, but as the months went by, his questions turned into subtle demands. "You're always working. You're never present. What's the point of having all that money if we're not happy?" And then one evening, over candlelit dinner, he dropped the bombshell. "Why don't you quit your job? I can take care of us. You can finally follow your passion. Maybe even start that art business you always talk about." My heart leapt. No one had ever believed in me like that before. Chris wasn't just offering to support me financially, he was giving me permission to pursue my dreams. So, after weeks of hesitation, I handed in my resignation. My colleagues thought I was insane, walking away from a career I'd built from the ground up. But Chris was ecstatic. He threw a surprise dinner to celebrate, calling me his brave, talented artist. For the first few months, things were blissful. I painted. I explored art shows. Chris paid the bills, reassured me whenever my confidence wavered. "You don't need a job to be valuable," he'd whisper. "You're already perfect." But then, things started to change. Chris began working late. He became distant, his phone always glued to his hand. When I confronted him, he shrugged it off. "You're overreacting," he said, rolling his eyes. "I'm just stressed from work." Then, one night, I woke up to the sound of his phone buzzing incessantly. Curious, I reached for it, only to be met with a text from a number I didn't recognize. "I miss you. When can I see you again?" My heart dropped. My hands shook as I scrolled further. The messages were explicit, photos too, all from the same woman. When I confronted Chris the next morning, he didn't even try to deny it. Instead, he smirked, tossing his keys on the counter. "We're done," he said, his voice as cold as ice. "You can stay here until the end of the month, but after that, you're on your own." "What?" I stammered. "But you said you'd take care of me. You said..." "That was when we were together," he snapped. "Now I don't owe you anything." And just like that, the man who had convinced me to give up my career, my financial stability, my identity, was gone. I was left alone in a dark, empty apartment, surrounded by half-finished paintings and unpaid bills. I had nothing, no job, no savings, and worst of all, no one to turn to. Friends I hadn't spoken to in months were sympathetic but distant. Family members were supportive but unable to help financially. And Chris? He had already moved on with her. I spent weeks crying, searching for jobs, trying to sell my art, anything to scrape by. But the job market wasn't what it used to be. Every rejection letter was a slap in the face, a reminder of how much I'd given up for someone who never really cared. One night, as I sat on the floor of my nearly empty apartment, scrolling through old photos of me and Chris. A question popped into my mind. How did I let this happen? How did I let him convince me to throw away everything? Looking back, the signs were always there. The control disguised as concern. The manipulation wrapped in sweet words. But I was too in love, too blind to see it. Now, I'm clawing my way back. I've picked up freelance gigs, started saving every penny, and even rented a tiny room in a shared apartment. It's not glamorous, and it's far from where I used to be, but it's mine, and no one can take that away from me again. So tell me, was I naive? Was I wrong to trust him? Would you have done the same? Or was I a fool for believing in his promises? Let me know in the comments below.